comes to how much you should take, this is where it becomes very important to work with a professional because everybody's body is different, which is why I want to take a second to make sure you guys know that if you don't have anybody you can go to on this, I did start a company. It's called otmens.com, where we have made this type of medicine accessible to everybody, where you can talk to a provider who will guide you down a specific dosing path based on your blood work, based on your true results, that is going to hold your hand through this process. Because the number one problem I see in medicine is people have just started injecting themselves willy-nilly with whatever they can get their hands on because someone told them they should, and it is what I think is going to cause the biggest relapse in health I think we'll ever see. But again, I'm not here to tell you that you have to use my company, otherwise this stuff doesn't work. I think there are thousands of good NAD plus providers across the country, but if you're looking for one that has access to everywhere in these 50 states, otmens.com will have direct access for anyone to talk to a provider and get help on this. Now, of course, I think the number one thing to talk about here that doesn't require a provider is that consistency beats everything. NAD plus is one of those molecules that the longer you take it, the better it will work. Unlike some peptides that I'm a huge fan of, like tesamorelin, ipamorelin blend, MOTS-C, epitalon, name a bunch, they all have specific timelines that going past those timelines ends up hurting more than helping because it fries our receptor and it makes our body almost need that peptide in order to function. NAD plus doesn't have that problem. This is something that a lot of people start and never stop. Now, the nice part about it is the earlier that you jump on the train, the higher up your NAD stores still are. So you're not digging yourself out of a 100-foot hole. It might only be a 10-foot hole and you just got to fill some sand in. And now you're right back to having no ceiling. So like I said, if there's ever a product that I think almost everybody should be looking at, I have just not seen any significant downside unless you have a really drastic heart condition for NAD+. But again, don't take my word for it. Make sure you're only going off of what a designated provider says. But this is something that I've seen make a world of impact, not just for me, but for a lot of people as well. This is probably the one product that every time I recommend it to someone, it's the one that I hear back every time where they're like, okay, great. I'm getting a little bit more jacked from the TRT. I'm sleeping a little bit better from the DSIP or the epitalon, whatever it's going to be. But they always say, wow, that NAD, I feel the punch. Like I'm just on it. My focus is there. My energy's there. And it's something that happens almost immediately. A lot of peptides, it takes a while to build up. NAD plus is one of those things that you'll feel almost in the first week of doing it. Now, I do want to preface for a lot of people who are going to go start NAD,